I just want to give a quick update on the crypto yuan and other central bank digital currencies and the progress that is being made. I made a video in the last couple months about how pilot programs are now happening in China in both Beijing and Shanghai after they already started happening, I believe, in Shenzhen and maybe a couple other cities. So there is some progress. However, people should keep things in perspective because pilot programs are starting, but these are tiny fractions of the amount of total economic transactions that are happening both inside China and also with global trade with China and their trade partners. So this central bank digital currency cross-border pilot program is being run by the Bank of International Settlements, and China, through their People's Bank of China, just joined recently with Hong Kong and Thailand. So there's a number of countries that are involved in this cross-border central bank digital currency pilot program where they're testing out cross-border transactions with multiple central bank digital currencies or government crypto or Fed coin here in the US, as Eric Townsend of Macro Voices has called it. Again, however, these are tiny. China does an enormous amount of global trade. They run enormous trade surpluses, and they're not even doing 1% of their global trade in government crypto with cross-border payments yet. So it is tough to say how quickly this thing can scale. But according to this article, central banks representing 1/5 of the world's population are likely to issue their own central bank digital currencies in the next 3 years or so, according to a survey published last month by the Bank of International Settlements. Ultimately, the goal is more and more government control, totalitarianism, authoritarianism. George Orwell would not even believe how much control governments have taken in the last 12 months. It was getting bad before the pandemic. It's gotten even worse the last 12 or so months. Just insane how much control politicians, bureaucrats, and central bankers have. And once central bank digital currencies or government crypto is implemented with a database, then they can track and tax every transaction, very similar to what happens in China. How if the Chinese government does not like something that someone buys on AliChat or WePayChat, they can be fined or worse. And then this allows governments a more easy implementation of additional taxes, say a value-added tax here in the US, or an online national sales tax, or whatever other taxes these politicians and bureaucrats want to keep piling on. So this means less and less savings for people, more and more taxes, and more government control, all part of stagflate tax lie, unfortunately. So welcome to dystopia, but it is going to be at least 3 years, probably longer than that, because we're not seeing any evidence yet of scaling, massive size. So even of the pilot programs in China, they're not doing many billions in transactions. So they're starting off pretty small. They might even be doing $1 billion or so in transactions, but that's still a tiny fraction in Beijing and Shanghai. They're not doing anywhere near the amount of economic transactions that occur on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis inside the Chinese economy in the major cities. And cross-border payments for global trade with China and their trade partners, there's not even near 1% of that. So this is still years away, probably at least 3 to 5 years, might even be longer than that. Depends what type of force, government force. So by fiat, because the word fiat, people see fiat currency and think paper money, but fiat actually means by decree, by government decree. So government is forcing you by government decree to use in the past paper money. So we'll see what type of fiat these totalitarian, authoritarian governments try to come up with to force us back into the government cryptocurrency system in the next 3 to 5 years.